Wealth After 50 presents the top 5 reasons to pay off your mortgage early. Getting the keys to your own home. It's the dream, right? It's a symbol that you've made it, that you're putting down roots. But let's be honest, nobody dreams about the 30-year financial ball and chain that often comes along for the ride. That mortgage agreement is the biggest debt most of us will ever have, and it quietly dictates our lives for decades. It influences where we work, the chances we take, and how we live for the next 30 years. Have you ever really done the math on what that 30-year loan will cost you? Not just the monthly payment, but the total amount of interest you'll hand over to the bank? It's often more than you paid for the house in the first place. What if I told you there's a way to break those chains years ahead of schedule, that you could reclaim a huge piece of your income and your life? In this video, I'm going to lay out the 5 most powerful reasons why paying off your mortgage early isn't just some fantasy. It's the key to unlocking real financial freedom. We're going to challenge the old idea that a mortgage is good debt and show you a path to owning your home free and clear. This isn't wishful thinking, it's a strategic plan. The 30-year mortgage is sold to us as the most affordable way to own a home. And on a monthly basis, that's true. But that affordability comes at a massive long-term price. It's a classic case of focusing on the small monthly payment while ignoring the giant 3-decade-long forest of interest. Let's make it real. Imagine a $400,000 home. You put 20% down, so you have a $320,000 mortgage. With a 30-year fixed rate around 6.8%, your monthly payment for principal and interest is about $2,075. Seems manageable, right? But here's the problem. Over those 30 years, you will pay a staggering $427,150 in interest alone. You borrowed $320,000, but you'll pay back over $747,000. You don't just buy your house once. You buy it for yourself, and then you buy it all over again for the bank. The loan is designed to be a slow drain on your wealth. For the first 10 years, your payments are almost all interest. You're barely chipping away at what you actually owe. You're putting in all the work each month, and your lender's the one benefiting. This keeps you financially fragile. A job loss, a medical bill, a recession, any of these can become a crisis when that huge payment is due every month. It's a pair of golden handcuffs locking you into a certain job and a certain income just to service the debt. But it doesn't have to be this way. And that brings us to our first big reason to break free. Let's start with reason 5, accelerated equity building and a lasting legacy. Coming in at number 5 is all about building wealth faster and creating a powerful legacy. We hear the word equity all the time, but what is it? It's just the part of your home you actually own. It's the market value of your house minus what you still owe the bank. When you first buy, your equity is just your down payment. The trouble with a standard mortgage is how painfully slow your equity grows at the start. Like we said, the early years are front-loaded with interest. You might be paying over $2,000 a month, but for the first year, maybe only $400 of that is going towards the principal. You're running hard on a financial treadmill, but barely moving. This is where paying extra makes all the difference. Every single dollar you pay above your minimum goes straight to the principal. It's a pure 100% equity boost. By attacking the principal, you fast-forward the whole process and start building real, meaningful equity much, much faster. Why does this matter? Because equity is wealth. It's a real asset that grows your net worth and gives you a powerful financial safety net. If you need money for a major expense, you can tap into that equity with a loan or line of credit at a much better rate than a credit card. It becomes a tool you can use. A paid-off home is one of the greatest assets you can pass on to your kids. Leaving them a home that is free and clear gives them an incredible head start. It could be a place for them to live without a mortgage payment, or they could sell it for a huge financial foundation. You're not just breaking your own financial chains, you're making sure your kids don't have to wear them. You're turning your home from a lifelong liability into a cornerstone of generational wealth. Reason 4. Greater financial freedom and lifestyle flexibility. Reason number 4 is where the dream really starts to come into focus. We're talking about the incredible freedom and lifestyle flexibility that comes from being mortgage-free. Think about it for a second. How many of your life decisions are filtered through the question, but can we afford the mortgage? Do you stay in a job you don't love because the paycheck is reliable? Do you shelve that business idea because it's just too risky? The median mortgage payment in the U.S. can easily top $2,200 a month. Now just imagine if that expense disappeared. What would you do with an extra $2,200, $2,500, or more every single month? When you eliminate your single biggest bill, you fundamentally change your financial reality. All of a sudden, you can breathe. The pressure to earn a certain amount of money just to keep your head above water is gone. This opens up a universe of possibilities. Maybe you've always wanted to switch to a more fulfilling career that pays a little less. Without a mortgage, you can actually afford to do that. Or maybe you've got that entrepreneurial itch. The fear of leaving a stable job is a lot less scary when you don't have a giant mortgage payment looming over you. You can afford to take a calculated risk and bet on yourself. This freedom goes beyond your career. It's the freedom to travel, to take a sabbatical, or to cut back to part-time and spend more time with your family. It's the ability to handle life's curveballs, an unexpected layoff, a health scare, with way less stress because your basic cost of living is so much lower. You're no longer just surviving, you're thriving. Owning your home outright puts you in the driver's seat of your own life. You're making decisions based on your dreams, not the bank's terms. Reason 3. Enhanced peace of mind and reduced stress. At number 3, we have a benefit you can't track on a spreadsheet, but it might be the most valuable of all. The deep, profound peace of mind that comes from owning your home. For a lot of people, this is the real prize. It's an emotional return on investment that is absolutely priceless. Debt is heavy. It creates a constant low-grade hum of anxiety in the back of your mind for most of your adult life. When the economy gets shaky or you hear about layoffs at work, the first thought for a homeowner is often, can I make the mortgage payment? Now imagine waking up in a house that belongs to you. No matter what happens with your job or the stock market, you have a roof over your head that nobody can take away. That feeling of security is rock solid. It's the financial foundation that lets you handle whatever else life throws at you from a position of strength. This peace of mind trickles into every part of your life. You sleep better? Money conversations with your partner become less about stress and more about dreams. And when you think about retirement, it's a completely different picture. So many people retire while still carrying a mortgage, which puts a huge strain on their fixed income. Life is a lot more enjoyable when your biggest expense is gone. Financial experts love to talk about guaranteed returns. Well, paying off your mortgage is a guaranteed return. If your interest rate is 6%, you are getting a guaranteed, risk-free 6% return on your money. But the emotional return? The freedom from fear? That's the real jackpot. Reason 2. A surge of monthly cash flow. All right, our runner-up at number 2 is a big one. It's the absolute tidal wave of cash flow you unleash once that mortgage is gone. This is where being debt-free gets incredibly fun. We're not talking about a little extra coffee money. We're talking about redirecting your single biggest expense toward your goals. Let's go back to that $320,000 mortgage. The payment was about $2,075 a month. That's nearly $25,000 a year. When you make that final payment, you've effectively given yourself a massive after-tax raise. Seriously, think about that. What would an extra $25,000 a year, free and clear, do for you? This newfound cash flow is financial rocket fuel. For years, your income was split, with a huge chunk going to the bank. Now it's all yours. You can supercharge your retirement savings. Imagine investing that $2,075 every month. You could max out your 401k, your Roth IRA, and still have money left over. You could build a serious nest egg in a fraction of the time. You can go after other big goals. Want to pay for your kids' college? Want to buy a vacation property? Those dreams suddenly become much more realistic. Or maybe you just want to live better right now. Travel more, pick up a new hobby, give generously to causes you believe in, all without feeling the pinch. For years, you were playing defense with your money, just trying to cover your bills. Now you get to play offense, powerfully building the life you actually want. And now reason 1. Colossal interest savings. The heavyweight champion of mortgage motivation, saving a truly colossal amount of money on interest. This is the mathematical knockout punch. We already established that on a typical $320,000 loan, you're on the hook for over $427,000 in interest. That number should stop you in your tracks. It's the money you earn with your time, your work, and your talent, and you just hand it over for the privilege of borrowing. By paying off your mortgage early, you are stopping that flow of cash to the bank and redirecting it back to yourself. Let's see it in action. On that same $320,000 loan, what if you made just one extra payment per year? A simple move like that would shave more than 5 years off your loan and save you over $90,000 in interest. And that's not a typo. Yes, I said $90,000. But what if you get more aggressive? Say you manage to pay an extra $500 every month. You would turn that 30-year loan into a 17-year loan. You would save an incredible $215,000 in interest. You would reclaim over $200,000 of your own money. Every extra dollar you pay is a dollar the bank can't charge you interest on for the next 10, 20, or 30 years. This isn't a speculative return like the stock market. It's a guaranteed saving. It's money you are guaranteed not to give away. When you look at it that way, paying down your mortgage is one of the smartest and safest investments you can possibly make. Now you are choosing to build your own wealth, not your bank's. Now, to be fair, let's tackle the common arguments you'll hear against paying off your mortgage. The first is opportunity cost. The theory is, if your mortgage is at 6%, but you could earn 10% in the stock market, you should invest the extra cash instead. But it ignores one giant factor, risk. That 10% market return isn't guaranteed. The 6% you earn by paying off your debt is a rock-solid, risk-free return. For many, that certainty is worth more than a riskier potential gain. Next is the old "but I'll lose my tax deduction" argument. Let's be real. Thanks to tax law changes, the standard deduction is so high now that most people don't itemize anymore. For them, the mortgage interest deduction provides zero benefit. And even if you do itemize, you're still spending $1 on interest to save 30 cents on taxes. That's a losing game. Finally, some people argue that paying off your house makes your money illiquid or tied up. This is true, which is why you should always have a healthy emergency fund before you start aggressively paying down your mortgage. Once that safety net is in place, however, paying down the loan is a brilliant way to convert your income into solid, debt-free wealth. And one last important caveat: check your loan documents for a prepayment penalty. They're rare these days, but some loans have a fee for paying it off early. A quick call to your lender can clear that up. The road to a debt-free home isn't always easy, but it is always worth it. It's more than a financial goal, it's a declaration of your independence. And remember, it's never too late to grow your wealth after 50.